Hey guys, alright, so the video down below is from Sky News Australia. Now, I have not really watched a lot of Sky News. It is a British rag, I believe, and they actually have a broadcast here on YouTube that airs 24/7. It's been heavily ratioed, so I get the feeling that it has, a bias and of a certain kind. But you're looking at the video down below, and you can see that this one definitely has more of a conservative bias. And I have to agree with Scott Adams' prediction regarding the media's treatment of the right. I think that they're going to come around and realize that the old leftist bias is getting very tired, and it's wearing thin in terms of its message, because people are starting to wake up and realize what they're saying is a bunch of baloney. So they're going to try and pander to the right, and they're going to do it pretty aggressively. I would say, like, in the same fashion as Fox News, Hannity. You're going to start to see a lot of these pundits come out and basically channel Sean Hannity. So, well, here's the thing, though. I actually I want to give some unsolicited advice to all three of the major cable news networks. So, starting with CNN and MSNBC, if you were to get like a Hannity/Tucker type on your shows, and for what it's worth, MSNBC actually had Tucker Carlson on their network over 10 years ago. He had a show called Tucker, and I remember excuse me, MSNBC having a little more diversity than it does today. It's very one-sided, as is CNN, except with CNN, they have these so-called conservatives who are actually just neoconservative. They're Trotskyites. I mean, their in-house libertarian S.E. Cup is an atheist, so they're not really doing it. They're not necessarily trying to pander to the right, but they're trying to say, well, they're trying to pander to the left by saying, well, we're conservative, but we're never Trumpers. So we're cool. How do you do, fellow kids? How do you do, fellow whites? Anyways, they would be much better off if they were to get a Hannity/Tucker type or a Judge Jeanine type on their networks. That way they could bring in more viewers. And the reciprocal applies to Fox News. If they were to get a left-wing person on there, they would probably do good. Not that they need more ratings. They lead the cable news networks in ratings. And I actually think, taking that back, I think that might actually have an adverse effect on their network, because they had Shepard Smith, who had some of the lowest ratings on all of the network, as well as Neil Cavuto, who was shilling heavily for Ted Cruz. He's always felt very butthurt about the fact that he didn't win the GOP nomination. So maybe I recede my talking point there. Excuse me. But the video down below, this is going to my main topic here. Right? This is a news editorial/vlog, but I want to say this. The video down below is talking about climate change and the skepticism surrounding it. Now, I have to say here, in Santa Cruz, California, we have been having some very gorgeous weather for the last 2 months, and this has basically been a continuation of the summer. At one point in October, it hit 90 degrees, and today it's going to hit in the mid-70s, and we're in the middle part of November. So I want to say that, as somebody who's a big fan of cold weather, I'm not a big fan of this, but as somebody who's a big fan of making money, as somebody who's a big fan of my business making money, this has been very, very good for business, as well as for the city, because the city has weather good enough for people to come and hang out at the beach. And this is the middle of November, guys. I was riding my bike last night and on my break, and I saw near the front of the wharf, near the boardwalk, they were having a salsa dance competition or whatever, some type of event. And people were dressed as if it was summer. So this is a really good thing. This is a really good thing for business. And hey, look, I would give some credence to those who are talking about more global warming. I don't know. I just think that we're having an unusually long Indian summer. With all that being said, though, most of the accredited scientists, the ones that aren't bought and paid for, like the independent researchers, they have basically done a multitude of research regarding temperature change, and according to them, this is the general consensus that we are actually going to be hitting a mini ice age in the next several decades. So I I think with everything, you kind of have to observe it on your own. I remember one of my family members telling me back in 2006 that Chicago was going to be 100 degrees on a daily basis by this time, and that obviously hasn't happened. And another thing too, I just realized this last night when I was listening to a Salty Cracker, but he had he had been talking about AOC and how she said that the world was going to end in 12 years. Now, coincidentally, she said this in 2018, and you look ahead 12 years from then, that's 2030. What do we have coming up, the year 2030? And we all know that there's a program called Agenda 2030, which is a continuation of Agenda 21. So, very interesting stuff there. I don't know if that was done on purpose or if that's a coincidence. I would have to say that it is the former, just because of the people that are backing AOC, the people that are trying to push this climate change is caused by mankind kind of deal. And even the late, great George Carlin had come out, excuse me, and had said that climate change and saving the planet is simply something that is out of the ability of human beings, because the Earth, our planet, is a very durable object. There are a lot of things that our planet has to deal with on a daily basis, not just from us. That is entirely minuscule compared to cosmic radiation, meteors, and what have you, solar radiation, all these things. So something to keep in mind. I just had my coffee, so I gotta go to work, guys. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless. I'll see you later.